Welcome everybody and Happy New Year! I'm Mike and today I am outside on this beautiful day in winter. Yeah, can you believe it? It's like 50 degrees here in the Northeast. That is unheard of. It's beautiful. The sun is coming out, the clouds are breaking up, and anyway, for those of you in the Northeast, you know we will pay for it in the future. But anyway, you're not here for the weather forecast, right? Today, I want to share with you my experience with this 2022 Nissan Sentra. That's right. My Nissan Sentra, I've had this car for approximately, I would say, a year and a half right now. And I want to share with you the experiences that I have had with it. The good, the bad, what can I expect from it, all of those fun things. And of course, we are going to get into the elephant in the room. What's going on with the CVT transmissions? Are they any good? We will get into that. So stay with me and we'll get into it. Okay, before we step into the car, I just wanted to let you know that this is the Nissan Sentra SV edition. It is equipped with the cold weather and tech package, so that means there is you can start this remotely. It has your heated seats, heated steering wheel, and it does boast a little bit of a sunroof here, which is quite nice. As we get into the car, I know you've seen this before, but it's got, let's see, right now I've got just over 21,000 miles on it, 21,220. And I try to keep the car as clean as possible. I do use it as a commuter car, so it's basically used back and forth to work and some trips shopping, maybe to visit the parents once in a while. So it's not, you know, used for hauling anything. It's not abused. It is a nice, how can I put this? It's a nice, comfortable commuter car. And when I say comfortable, these seats are quite comfortable. And other things about the car, the radio is really good. If you go through the system on here, you know, there's lots of different settings, including a bass boost. So the stereo system in here is not bad at all. I do use the sunroof on occasion. I mean, you know, can't use it all the time. I actually use it more at night than I do during the day. I don't want to freaking burn my bald head. Also, the infotainment system is very snappy, easy to use, and I use the Android Auto on here. Very clear, very responsive. It works great. I have no issues with this system at all. It may seem a bit small, but hey, I don't need anything bigger. I don't need a giant computer screen in my car. It works fantastic. And of course, there's plenty of room all over. I do like the contrasting stitching on the seats. It is a very nice look and it is quite comfortable. I love the comfort of this car. I do like the heated steering wheels, the heated seats. They get hot really quick. And of course, as we know, with all Nissans, their air conditioning is top notch. It gets like a meat locker in here in about 5 minutes. So for those of you who have watched any of my other videos on this car, you know that it's, how can I say, in the beginning it was a little frustrating. I was leaking some kind of what I thought was transmission oil. However, it ended up being a leaky main seal. They've had my car for a few days. It was a few months ago, last year. And that was fixed properly. I don't see any reoccurrence of that. I did bring it in for a noise, like a clanking noise. Turns out, for some reason, it's gone away. They told me it was normal, part of the fuel system, and it is what it is, but I haven't heard it since. All in all, I have no issues with the car. Not major issues anyway. I do want to bring up a couple of things that seem a bit weird, and you know, it's just a little, I don't know, it's just weird. So the first thing is, at times, sometimes I'll go and start the car and it won't start. So I do put my foot on the brake. I hit the automatic stop button and nothing happens. I'm going, oh, gee, what the heck's going on? So I said, okay, well, maybe I didn't hit the brake fully. So I tried again. It doesn't work. I said, okay, maybe I have to reset it. So it's, you know, I open the door, I close it, I get in, wait a second, put my foot on the brake again, I start it, it starts. I push the button, it starts. So it seems to work then. It's only happened to me a couple of times. So maybe I'm just not depressing the brake hard enough and I have to reset it. That's the only thing I could think of. The second thing is a bit weird. So I do have the automatic start installed in the vehicle because it is the cold weather package. So I started from in my home when it's cold out. I get in and usually, you know, the warmers for the steering wheel are on. It's nice and warm. The heat's running and I'm good to go. Well, the other day I got in the car. It was started. Maybe I got in a bit early. Yeah, you know, I understand. So I get in the car and steering wheel's warm, but the heat wasn't running. Okay, well, I guess it takes a little time for the engine to warm up. I get it. So I'm driving down the road about 2 miles in and I'm saying, I don't even hear the fan running. It should be running by now. The heat should be kicked on. I'm freezing my rear end off. What the heck's going on? So I go and I turn off the automatic climate control and try to manually increase the fan speed, and the fan doesn't work. Wow. In my head, I'm already on the phone calling the dealer saying what's going on. So I turn everything off in the car, heat related. The car's still running. I'm driving. Of course, I can't turn that off. Turn off everything to do with the heat. I push the automatic climate control button again, and still nothing. 3 seconds later, I hear the fan kick on, and everything is warm, working as it should. That happened once. Of course, I didn't call the dealer because it works, and you'll bring it to the dealer, and oh, there's nothing wrong with it. You know how that is. I haven't had an issue with it yet, again, so I'm hoping that's like kind of a one-off thing. The other thing is, during cold starts, I think it's the compressor in the car making a weird noise. Now, I know every time you turn on the compressor, you're going to hear like a clicking noise when it engages. I get that. This seems to be more of a humming noise, and it's only when the engine is cold. So when I first start the car and put on the climate control for the heat or the defroster, I can hear the engagement, but it does make a little bit of a humming noise. I recorded it. Maybe you can hear it. So let's have a listen. So I'm chalking that up as to maybe normal use, because when the engine is running, I'm driving for a few minutes, it goes away, I don't hear anything. So I'm thinking it's normal. I don't have any issues with it. I still get heat, I still get air conditioning, everything works fine. So I'm just going to leave that alone right now and just keep my ears open and see if that humming noise changes. And if it does, it's going in. So now it's time to get to the elephant in the room. That's right. what's going on with the CVT transmissions, especially in Nissan, and why are people telling you to run away from them? Are they really that bad? Well, listen, honestly, I've only had the vehicle for a year and a half. I have never, ever once had a problem with any slipping, any obscene noises coming from it, or any issue with the CVT transmission. That's my, that's me. I did speak with an independent mechanic, and I asked him, I said, why are people running away or telling people, not people are running away, but there's a bunch of people on YouTube and other forums that are saying, don't touch a CVT transmission. And I would like to go over that with you just so you have all the facts. And if you hold on a minute, I'm going to put on my glasses and get on my phone so I can access some notes. Okay, so for CVT transmissions, there's many car manufacturers that use it, not just Nissan. So if you drive a Subaru, a Honda, Ford, Mitsubishi, Hyundai, Toyota, and many others, they use CVT transmissions. So exactly what is a CVT transmission, and why do people out there in the car world say bad things about them? Well, some of them have a point, and others, well, they're kind of just expressing their opinion. But let's liken it to a standard automatic transmission. So unlike standard automatic transmissions, continuously variable transmissions, or CVTs, they don't have traditional gears that interlock like this, okay? They use two cone-shaped pulleys, and to connect them, they use a steel band, or some people call them a belt, but it's actually a steel band that connects these two pulleys together. And to achieve either more torque or more speed to the drive wheels, these cone-shaped pulleys adjust in and out, making one pulley bigger and one smaller. And these are adjusted using the hydraulic fluid. One is called the driven pulley, the other is called the drive pulley. And here's an animation of pretty much how it works. So you can see the smaller the pulley, the higher the speed. The larger the pulley, or the larger the ratio, the more torque or power you get. It's kind of, you know what, it's easy to think about it just like a bike, a gears on a bike. If you notice on that rear wheel, when the chain is smaller, that it's a smaller, you get more speed out of your bike. When the chain is larger in the back, you get more power or more torque to easily climb hills. That's easily explained. That's how a CVT transmission works. They have no gears as we know it in there. Well, that's not exactly true. They do have a gear for reverse, but that's it. Just one planetary gear for reverse, and no forward gears, just that pulley system in there. So why do they make it? Why do they put it in cars? Well, they're lighter, they're more fuel efficient, and there's no gear lock. It doesn't lock into gear when you shift gears. So it's supposed to give you a smooth acceleration and a smoother ride. So why all the negativity? What's going on with them? Well, there are cases, and there are a lot of cases, in which a standard automatic transmission is still advantageous, and you can't use a CVT. So first, you should never use a vehicle with a CVT transmission for towing or for heavy vehicles like heavy cars or heavy trucks. As of now, you're not going to see a Ford F-150 or a Dodge Ram or, a Tundra. You're not going to see those with the CVT transmission. They're really not meant for towing. heavy duty gears are much better for this. So an automatic standard transmission would be more preferable than that. A lighter weight steel band isn't just going to cut it. And if you do try to tow with a CVT transmission, it's not good, and it'll probably overheat, because continuously variable transmissions do naturally, due to more friction inside, they do produce a bit more heat than your average traditional automatic transmission. Number two, if there's a problem with a standard transmission, it is possible to rebuild them or to purchase a rebuilt one. And that's going to be at a much lower cost than a CVT transmission. Also, if it fails on the road, if you're out there and you have a standard transmission, most likely you're going to have a limp mode. And what is a limp mode? Well, say you're on a highway, your transmission dies, you're going to have, your car is going to tell the computer in your car is going to tell your transmission, hey, look, you just crapped out. It automatically gives you a gear. It's usually second gear, and that's good enough to get you to the side of the road or to a service station, or if you're out in the middle of nowhere, it could even get you home. Conversely, if a CVT fails, it's usually, not always, but usually catastrophic. That means the band inside just snapped. There's going to be metal shards that get all over the place, and in a lot of cases, those metal shards will shoot right through the housing of your transmission, and it is not a good sight. You're stranded right where it blows out. There is no limp mode. There's no way to get your car off the street. You're going to have to coast to the side of the road and hope you have your cell phone to call a tow truck, because if that happens, there ain't no limp mode and you're not going anywhere. Also, if that happens, there is no way on earth that anybody is going to try to rebuild that. It's just too destructive. Metal pieces all in the transmission, and to rebuild it is just not cost effective. But all that being said, what is a CVT good for then? Why would I even bother one? Well, they're great for commuter cars. I mean, you know, I'm getting between 30 and 40 miles per gallon in this car. So does it help with fuel mileage? I can only assume it does. So if you're going to use a car just to round town or commuter, why not? I don't see a problem with it. There are some things you have to keep in mind, though. They do, on occasion, they can be a little bit noisy. I haven't heard anything, but people say they are noisy, and I can understand that, but I just don't. Maybe I'm blind to it. Maybe it is noisy and I don't understand it, but I haven't really noticed a big difference. You know, they do run a little hotter than standard transmissions, and, you know, that's, again, because of the friction inside. So here are some things that my mechanic suggested to me how to prolong the life of your CVT and to basically have no issues with it. Number one, just remember, the latest CVT transmissions are built much better than they were. They use stronger steel bands, and actually some of them use chains instead of bands. And again, there's a lot of car manufacturers that use them, so if you're looking to stay away from one, it's going to be tougher and tougher as more and more car manufacturers use them in their vehicles. But they are made much better and should last a lot longer. Second thing, this is what my mechanic had told me. Even though these maintenance things may not be in your manual, he recommended that get it serviced every 25 to 35,000 miles. So there is more friction in a CVT transmission and more metal residue. So changing the filter and changing some of the fluid will increase the lifespan, he thinks. Anyway, he's worked on a few. And regular maintenance should increase the lifespan and have better durability. The other thing he recommended, if you do notice any slipping or lack of power in your vehicle, get it serviced right away. It could be a slipping belt or that band inside the transmission itself. And if that's slipping, it's giving you a warning sign. And in a lot of cases, since CVTs are more popular, they can replace that band at, significantly less cost than replacing the entire transmission. So if you do feel slipping or loss of power, get it serviced right away. You're going to save yourself a boatload of money in the future. And number 4, the best advice that he could give me: just drive your commuter car normally. Don't abuse it. Don't put any undue stress on the transmission itself. I mean, this is true for any transmission, but especially a CVT and that band in there. Don't stop at a red light when it turns green. Don't bang it into gear. Don't, peel out on the line. It's not what it's made for. You want a racing car? Go get a standard transmission. Don't reverse the car. How do you put that? I don't know. But when you're going into reverse and you want to pop it into drive, stop the car first, then put it into drive. Again, don't abuse it. And you should be fine. The CVT transmission should last you a good long time. Now, I know, the Nissan mechanic said that he saw a CVT last 130,000 miles. That's that one. Oh my, I can't believe they last that long. You'll hear everybody say everything. Me, I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I've had the car again 1.5 years, no problems. So that, my friends, are what CVT transmissions are all about. They're becoming more popular, and I do think they're making them better these days. But if you see, I know they're in Subaru, so if you see a Subaru Forester with a tow hitch on the back, I'd probably stay away from it. I don't know what they're towing, but really they're not made for towing much. So anyway, folks, if you're interested in the 2022 Nissan Sentra, I'm sure there's some coming off leases, or some of them you can buy as, used cars. Just please go over it carefully. I've had issues with them, but the issues were minor, easily correctable. And overall, I really enjoy driving the car. It's quite comfortable. That's the best thing I can say about it. And it gets me to work and back. And to be honest, sometimes I could fall asleep in here with these heated seats and everything. It's just very comfortable. So I hope everybody has a great new year. Enjoy, be safe, and happy car hunting. Thank you for watching.